What's good, my minions? It's me, Hobley. And today we're doing another walkthrough guide video. So this is 15 Rookery. Let's hop right in, shall we? So we'll talk about what I'm doing and what I'm setting up for. So these are the talents. I'm not running the Apocalypse build, I'm running normal build, normal Mythic Plus build. So here I'm looking to either focus the Thunderer or Quartermaster. It's easier to unload on the Thunderer because the Quartermaster does that whole shield thing and you might have to move around. So if you just focus the Thunderer, you're not going to have a bad time. But also it means you can catch those interrupts if you're not exactly the most ethical with it. But we even pulled the big bird as well. So that's why we have the AoE effects here. But what I'm looking to do is just burst just straight away. I'm not setting up, I'm just bursting as soon as possible. So I go in with Death and Decay and then full burst everything. And then I'm spamming Vampiric Strike up to 7, spending Sudden Doom procs in between. But other than that, nothing else really takes more priority. If I get a Festering Scythe proc, I spend that straight away so that I can have wounds to pop again. But also, when you're in these big pools, it's key to pop these sores so that you can keep your Festamite stacks at 20. See there? 20 Festamite stacks, gone now. But 20 Festamite stacks is 40% additional strength. Massive, you want that. Alright, so I did pop my second Dark Transformation here because I knew that by the time I get round to the next pack, I'm not going to be sending that Dark Transformation straight away. I'm going to be waiting to do it with everything. With my Unholy Assault, with my cards. So I may as well just got half of a burst off of that one. So yeah. But sad thing is I am going to lose my Essence buff. It's okay, doesn't matter. Right, so we have about 14 seconds before I have some of my burst back. I noticed I actually accidentally pressed Best in Slots at the start instead of my House of Cards and then that first initial pull, which is not good. I was supposed to do that the other way around, not sure why that happened. But here, I'm just I think I'm just sending. Got Dark Transformation and get Festering Scythe proc, and just before I do my Unholy Assault, I just want to make sure... Am I even going to pop my Unholy Assault here? No, I think I actually just save it for the next pack. Yeah, never mind. Completely ignore that. I just did a small 45-second burst instead. So I just did Dark Transformation, nothing else. Got 5 million out of that. It's alright. Maybe we probably should have done Unholy Assault here, but you know what? We learn from our mistakes. Just go on ahead. It's still a big pull. But this next one is going to be huge. So we're not going to use Best in Slots. We might double up, but we'll just see what I do here. So we're going in. I want to keep that Essence stack, so my main priority is to do whatever I can to keep the Essence stack up. Is it spend Runic Power? Is it put Death and Decay down to increase my chances of getting a Vampiric Strike? It might be. Let's do that. So now, Dark Transformation, full burst go, spent the Festering Scythe, and now we're Vampiric Striking. I am trying to fish for a Blood Beast, but I'm really not having good luck here. Still going... because we're running Defile, as soon as it runs out, the damage portion, because obviously you get the buff afterwards, but as soon as the damage portion runs out, if there's still lots of targets to be hit, put it back down because it does good damage as well as gives you a cleave component. So I didn't use Best in Slots because I'm going to save it for this next Dark Transformation window. I think I cast Outbreak by accident. Yeah. Stupid boy. Death and Decay down, Dark Transformation. I think, yeah, there you go. Bit sad that I was on the opposite end there, so I couldn't cleave when we were avoiding the mechanic, but it's fine. So Festering Strike before I put my next Death and Decay down. And so I have lots of wounds to pop in that Death and Decay window. Festering Scythe again. We have a nice 20 stack of Festering Might, which is good. So when the targets become less than 7, I'm looking for things to execute with my Death Coil because Epidemic doesn't benefit from the execute. So it's even more important to do that. Also, I am targeting every now and then to put Rotten Touch on more than just 2 targets. Here we have the whole other side of the room that we need to do as well. Bit of an unorthodox way, but it's cool. I've also opted for a Haste Flask because I don't find myself potting very often, and it's the potion that makes Alchemical good. So there's not real much point. I mean, what you can do is you can put Alchemical Chaos on, pot, then put Haste Flask back on, and then put Alchemical Chaos Flask back on when you pot again. It's going to cost you a fair amount of money, but it would actually be a DPS increase. But here we go. We've got a big pool here. And if I knew that this big pool was coming, I actually would have waited with my Dark Transformation until now, but it's all good. We did get a Blood Beast, so my main priority while Blood Beast is up is to do damaging abilities or abilities that will allow me to do damage. So I don't want to cast anything in the Blood Beast window that wouldn't contribute to Blood Beast's damage, just to increase it. I'd rather try and do that stuff outside if I can. Alright, I missed like a bunch of those with the Festering Scythe, because Festering Scythe is a cone in front of you, so you want to make sure you're actually looking at the mobs that you want to hit that with, otherwise they're not going to get the wounds. Okay, we're going into the boss now. All we have is our 45 seconds. That's fine. Let's just keep our essence at 7, which is not going to be difficult. But because there's a couple seconds left on best in slots, I'm going to use this straight away. Now, I could just hold it for the next one, but it's only for 10 seconds. And I will extend Dark Transformation out to 10 seconds anyway because of spending Death Coil, spending up Runic Power. So, or just Death Coil. So realistically, you don't have to line up best in slots with the start of your Dark Transformation because as we know as Unholy DKs, damage comes at the end anyway. So if you have to do that in order to not sit on it for ages, then that's fine. Because if I'd have sat on it, this would be when I would be pressing it. But I have House of Cards, so I'm not. This would be my next big go, and I'm pairing this one with House of Cards. If Dark Transformation is a little bit earlier than the rest of your abilities, that is fine. It's not much finishing. Here I like to try and keep AMS for that specific ability, and use Lichborn, and I have the talent which gives everybody else leech when I do use Lichborn. So I try to, and if there's an ability or a damaging ability that would benefit darkness, it will kind of benefit Lichborn in a way, giving your party additional leech too. So I'm just keeping my buffs up in between bursts now. I have a smaller burst coming up, so not that there's not much preparation you need to do here. Just maybe give yourself some additional wounds. Dot is about to roll off. Don't need to bother about reapplying it because Dark Transformation will do it for me. Now the only problem here is my pet's really far away. You can see in the mini map there, it's coming. Pointing at the mini map, you can see what I'm pointing at. So we're reaching an execute phase now as well. It's about 40%. It'll be 35% soon. So we will be able to do sort of a big burst in its execute phase, which is pretty good. That's why. So we've got about 20 seconds before that comes. Yeah, nice. Now I could use Abomination Limb here as well, because by the time we go downstairs and group everything up, it's probably going to be back. So there we go, I popped it. You'll see in a minute when we go down that it's actually kind of back. So do everything here just to give, because right now the single target DPS is not looking great. I think even Shattering Frost DKs do better than that. So execute as well, obviously we shine. So execute with full burst, fantastic, really nice. And obviously your priority during single target, especially in execute, is Death Coils. Trying to basically finish your window on nothing, on no Death Coil. Try and make as much runic power as possible, and then finish that window with as little as possible, having spent as much as you can. I've got 2 Sudden Doom proxy in there and couldn't spend them. That's sad, because that would have been big damage. Sudden Doom, Death Coils and executes are something like 3 mil. Nuts. Okay, so doing the little jumpy jump here. Now this pack normally is quite a big one, but we only have Dark Transformation and Betting slots, so that's okay. At least you have something. Festering Scythe about to run out, which is kind of sad. So we're at 13 stacks, which have been quite nice to go into a pool with that, but we won't this time. Now because I've got 15 seconds now, it's taken us a little while to actually gather these. I could probably pop your cooldown tier 2. If I do that, I might do that. I'm not too sure. I haven't actually watched this video back yet. I'm just kind of doing it raw. But we'll see. See here in this specific scenario, I am epidemicing just to spread Death Rot. And once I've got an amount of Death Rots that I'm happy with, start moving on to Death Coils. By then also something's dead, so it does make more sense to be doing Death Coils. Okay, so I hold my bigger cooldowns for this next pack. I see. So with this as well, Void Crush, if they jump on you and you have AMS, the jump won't do anything. It's the same with that targeting ability too. You can AMS a targeting ability, and then all the damage it does around the ring doesn't do it anymore. Alright, so we've got these 3 little mods, but I think he pulls the 4th one too. So I'm just going to do a burst here, because there's no point saving. N15s, things last quite a long time, so it kind of makes sense to just send everything on cooldown always. That's how you get the maximum output. As it's 4 mobs, we're prioritizing Death Coil, for sure. As in Death Coil versus Epidemic, I mean. But when in reality, Vampiric Strike is actually the best button to press in a 4-target scenario. I'm trying to get these Sudden Doom procs spent as quick as I can. Overlapping those is massive DPS loss, so I really don't want to do that. Alright. We have Dark Transformation back now, and we're going to be moving into the next pack. So what I want to do here is think about how much value would it get if I used it there? Not really much. So I'm just going to save it. Because I can use this a couple seconds, like 10 seconds before Unholy Assault and everything like that, and it would still be fine. So it kind of lines up quite well here when we do this big pull. I think we do this with Lust as well. If I remember correctly, it does not last long. Alright, so I'm focusing the oracles here, just to make sure I can CC them and lock them down. That's more important to me at the moment in this key. Give everything some wounds with Festering Scythe as soon as possible. And now, get some burst going. I was setting up a little bit, getting some stacks of Vampiric Strike. Then once I felt like I was comfortable, we go. Slowly creeping up the ranks a little bit in terms of the DPS here. But as soon as that Death and Decay goes into its sort of like buffer window, I'm looking to press it again, especially if there's 2 or more targets. So once I've gone into a pack, press Dark Transformation and Death and Decay and Unholy Assault, I'm pairing Unholy Assault with my Trinket pretty much every single time. And then it's just a Vampiric Strike spam really. Sometimes I'm actually overcapping as well, just to make sure I can either get 7 stacks or fish for a Blood Beast. But here, for example, a really good point, is I had a Festering Scythe proc there at such a nice time, which means I could give all of those ads Festering Scythe again, and then pop all those wounds again during the burst, which is why I'm bursting for 10 mil there. 20 stacks of Festering, 40% increased strength on my little 45-second burst. Incredible. That obviously then falls off, but still very decent single target damage. So here, a little tip. When the jumping buff jumps to you, if you have AMS up, it will just erase it. So here, I'm looking at the cooldown timers of the boss. So I've got Crush Reality coming soon. I don't really feel like it's that big of a deal, so I'm going to send on my burst. And now during this burst window, I'm trying to generate runic power by just spamming Vampiric Strike. I'm also thinking, okay, am I going to be moving away from the boss at some point? If I'm away from the boss and I'm not actually doing anything, that is 0 DPS contributing towards my DPS per second on that meter there. I can try and set myself up with some additional runic power so that when I'm away from the boss doing 0 DPS, by chucking Death Coils, I'm now doing some DPS. So maybe in that scenario, it would have been better to do Death Coil, but because I knew I was moving away from the boss, it's actually better to do Vamp Strikes, because I can't Vamp Strike when I'm not there. Okay. Gave myself some wounds there for some reason. I was playing like this is Ryder. This is one of the longer bosses in Rookery, to be fair. We're still shining, we're still doing quite a lot of damage more. That's that. All that damage is coming from that start 10 million there. Nuts. It's the first time I actually got the debuff in the whole dungeon. It's looking a bit cramped in here. I'm going to go ahead and do my full burst after this jump when we get back to the boss. Am I? No, I think I'm actually going to do my Dark Transformation. No, I did full burst. Yeah, there you go. There we go. So 2 sudden doom procs, spend those straight away. Did a little defile there for the extra haste and damage. Ooh, almost got hit by that. It's kind of like net neutral with the rune that you spend that you could have spent on Vampiric Strike by putting defile down, but I've tried it with and without, and honestly I can't really tell much of a difference. Obviously that big burst during the execute phase was quite nice for us because we got a full use out of that. Now looking at Festering Scythe, I want to try and spend that as soon as possible because it will run out in 5 seconds, and I missed one of the mobs, which is shit. But Dark Transformation, D&D down, best in slots, and off we go. Spend that Sudden Doom because I had 1. Obviously, if you only got 1, you can kind of do some other things, but you want to look to spend that 1. On 3 targets, Vampiric Strike is the better global, but realistically, there is no global that you should be pressing over any just forever. Like, you should always weave in. Like, I like a little 2 Vampiric Strike into 1 Death Coil type thing. And here we're going to do the Parasol skip as well. So that is with the Parasol toy that slows movement speed. For embellishments, I've gone for double dusk thread as well, finally. As I used to have a focusing lens, which wasn't great. It was alright single target, but not great for Mythic Plus. Alright, so trying to drop it down. I was very scared of fucking this up. This is the first time I've done it properly, so get a little bit of thingy. Now the mage actually didn't do it properly, so I didn't realise. And then I'm going to send my burst here. And when my burst is done, I'm going to go out and res the mage. But I'm restacking my essence buff up to 7 as soon as possible. If I'm overcapped, then I've got sudden doom proc, and I'll do that. And getting my death and decay back down as soon as I finish this res. There we go. Now I'm cleaving my Infliction of Sorrows there. You see how I had that buff that was highlighted? I wanted to make sure Death and Decay was down first so that I could use that buff to consume all 3 of those targets and do Infliction of Sorrow damage 3 times over. As soon as I get Festering Scythe, spend it straight away because you want to pop those wounds again. You want to keep that chain reaction going constantly. The only thing that sucks about this boss is Festering Scythe doesn't actually reach it. So you do want to have like a macro that cancels it, but I don't actually have one just yet, so you won't see that from me. Right, so we don't really have any burst here because I didn't actually know that they were going to pull this. If I did know, then maybe I would have kept my Dark Transformation for a little bit longer, but I think we can still do some okay damage here. Now, the only thing I'm prioritizing here with these little lads is how well they can stack Festering Scythe for me. So if I have that proc, try and aim for them, spend it, so I can just pop them all, aim for them, spend it, pop them all, aim for them, spend it. I want to do that as much as possible when there's those little lads and I've got nothing else to do. Right, so I've got all my cooldowns now, which is super good. I want to go into this big mob with AMS as well, because AMS is essentially a DPS cooldown here, because it prevents you from losing 5% damage. So essentially it's 5% gain. So when the Consuming Voidstone casts Void Extraction, AMS to prevent it, do my full burst, and I'm doing 5% more damage than I would have done otherwise. Everyone else is doing 5% less, I'm doing 5% more. Now I want to get that Death and Decay back down, and carry on spending. As soon as I get close to capping Runic Power, then I just do 1 Death and Decay. 1 Death Coil, sorry, stupid. And then go again. Now I can Death and Decay 1 more time. Because if I Death and Decay there, by the time that charge comes back, Dark Transformation will be ready. So I'll have 1 charge for Dark Transformation. But then, by the time that Death and Decay charge is finished, I will then have another one. So I can double back to back. Now I'm going to I'm going to cast Dark Transformation here because this Consuming Voidstone really needs to die. Now in this next pack, you want to focus the Mage to prevent the Consuming Voidstone hitting 40%, doing that AoE, and the Ascendant doing her AoE. So you just want to pummel her. So going in, I've got no cooldowns. I just want to dot these things and do what I was saying before, where looking to Festering Strike, pop the Festering Strikes. Pop the Festering Wounds. Focusing the Void Ascendant as best I can, but I don't really have any cooldowns, so I can't do much. Got 20 stacks of Festering Scythe, which is sick. Vest of Might, which is good. Now it's dropping off. Now I'm going to have my cooldowns. I don't have them. So what I'm doing there is I'm tab targeting to the next target, so I can put the wounds that Unholy Assault would have given on the Void Stone instead of the Ascendant, so that I have twice as many wounds to pop, twice as many Festering Might stacks, twice as many Festering Scythe stacks, twice as much Bursting Swords damage. So if I just done it on this target that I was main targeting already, then I would have wasted the wounds. So I did a Festering Scythe there, and it didn't actually hit the Void Stone, which is weird. Maybe I was just angled strangely. Healing myself up there with Death Strike, because I was a little bit worried about that. Trying to use Lichborn throughout this entire dungeon in a way where people can benefit from the like stuttered healing that it gives, because it's leech healing. I'm trying to do like, yeah, like I said before, if it works well with darkness, then the Lichborn like leech thing will work well with it too. But right, we're going into this boss, and you definitely want to pop some cooldowns at the start here, otherwise the shields just last forever. So I'm going to do just Dark Transformation, and I think I might do Best in Slots as well. No, maybe not. I remembered incorrectly. So I'm on the left hand side on my own. I try to pre-AMS as much as possible with the Unleashed Corruption, because it will just completely void the dot, which is good. And then it voids, obviously, the ground zone. So try and do that as much as possible as well. Makes your life 10 times easier. Right, the shield is about to go down soon, I believe. Yeah, there you go. So you've got damage amp coming. I've got all my cooldowns. I'll pop everything. And a little Death and Decay as well, because you may as well. Why not? All the damage inside this amp helps. And then we just go. Get the Blood Beast explosion on this part as well. Death scores are hitting for 6.5 million. That is nuts. It's pretty fucking heavy, dude. Right. Continuing on. Don't bother with another Defile there, because I want to use that rune, use that global to actually doing a hitting ability, like Vampiric Strike or Deathcore. Ooh. Tight squeeze here. But we're good. Luckily we don't get sent away from the boss at any point. Well, not so far. Main thing I want to do here is just make sure that I'm keeping my buffs. Now I'm looking at the shield, I'm trying to see the rate in which the shield is going down and thinking, okay, well, should I just hold Dark Transformation, because it's almost kind of done. The shield is not long, it's got 60 mil and it's going down quite quick. So it's probably going to be alive for about another 20 seconds maybe. Maybe it probably could have done Dark Transformation, but I would have absolutely nothing for this damaging phase. There's no point killing the shield really quickly if you have no damaging cooldown to use within it. So now I've got Dark Transformation. I won't have the other buffs though, which is sad, but I'll just save those for the next one. I could have done a Death and Decay outside of it to benefit inside of the damage amp phase, but all good. I mean, we're still doing good DPS. And now we're within the execute range as well, so the shield will die even quicker because you have those increased damage, that 30% increased damage of Death Coil and Vampiric Strike, Scourge Strike. So I've been sitting on these cooldowns for a little while now, which isn't, it's not great, but we want to try and one phase this last little bit if we can. Well, I say one phase. This next damage amp phase is the damage amp that hopefully we kill it. So I'm thinking save everything. Got 89 mil. It's going down quite slowly. I am, because of this mechanic, I'm going to lose my Death Spot stacks, which sucks. And I need to really try and get my... try and get that Essence Queen Essence stack. Didn't get that either. So this is kind of shit. Now we're going to go into this with very little Essence stacks. Our Death Cores are not hitting hard. And our haste is lower. But this is the damage phase. I'm going to quickly stack us up to 7. Fingers crossed we can kill it in this phase. And we just miss out. Just. As I said before, I haven't actually watched this back yet. I'm kind of doing like a raw live commentary, so don't actually know. It's a ride for me and you. Right, so every time I dip below 2 wounds, I'm doing something to give myself some wounds back. So I want to try stay within 2 wounds because it gives you like a buffer where if you have sudden doom proc or a vampiric strike proc, you can spend it straight away, and you're not having to sit on them for as long as you need to. Right, because I don't care about this next damaging phase, I'm just sending my cooldowns on cooldown here. Just get that shield done. And almost done. There we go. That is Rookery 15. I think that last boss could have been done a little bit better maybe, but we finished the entire run on 4.3 mil, which is sick. That's very good. Looking at the logs, I think there's only a few logs which are better than that at the moment for a 15. And so, yeah, looking at the damage... Oh, let's go back to that. Let's go back to that start bit there. So damage-wise, Vampiric Strike does a lot, almost doing 1 billion on its own. Death Coils here doing a tremendous amount as well, just because those bosses they last for so long, and this last boss specifically amplifies the damage of Death Coil by so much, so it makes sense that it's a lot higher. But yeah, I think something like the Defile damage, this is 200 mil. If you didn't have Defile and you were just doing normal Death and Decays, you would just be losing 200 mil, just straight up. But yeah, so thank you very much, everybody. If you're interested in getting some coaching with me, then head over to my Metafy. Otherwise, visit my Twitch for more DK gameplay. And I'll see you next one. Peace. See you later. Bye.